Florida is at the center of a landmark legal question. Can artificial intelligence companies be held criminally responsible for how its technology is used? Florida Attorney General James Othmeier has launched what it described as the first criminal investigation of an AI company in U.S. history. It targets OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT. The investigation was sparked by the 2025 mass shooting at Florida State University. Prosecutors say the accused gunman consulted ChatGPT before killing 2 people and injuring 6 others on campus. And this week, the Florida Attorney General expanded that investigation to include the alleged murders of 2 doctoral students at the University of South Florida. OpenAI denies criminal responsibility, but says that it is cooperating with the authorities. We have Carney Chagall-Kefferforn, who is here. You did your doctoral thesis on this whole issue of vulnerabilities with AI. It's interesting to me that it was in 2020, and how much of that has changed in the 6 years. What was the vulnerability that you focused on in your dissertation?
So maybe I'll start by first of all sending mine and USF's condolences to the families of the victims of this horrible event. The vulnerabilities of AI, or what I focused on 6 years ago, was the fact that on the one hand, AI can cause damages and harms that are very similar to the ones that humans are causing. We didn't have LLMs back then, but we did have autonomous vehicles who were causing car accidents like human drivers, or medical applications that could misdiagnose a patient like a human physician, or decision-making supporters that could, for example, say that or recommend that a defendant be released or not be released, similar to a human judge. But AI does not have any legal status. It cannot be sued. If a person is causing harm, that they could be sued civilly or criminally. And
detectives who have been following these cases have said that if the answers given by the artificial intelligence would have come from a human, that they would have strongly considered charging that human as an accessory. And so when you look at this case, are you surprised by it, or you see it as a natural cause?
2 points here. First of all, to the second question, I'm not surprised, sadly, because I think we are all using AI, or some of us are using AIs, to plan things, where we're going to go on vacation, and what happens if it's too sunny, or if I want to ask a raise from my boss, and he says this, what should I say? If you're a criminal, then you might use AI to devise your criminal plans. So it will not surprise me if we see more and more of those cases.
Mitch, when you look at this and the forensic evidence that the investigators say they have found is very specific. How will this case play out? What happens next? The Florida Attorney General has announced the investigation, so what happens now?
Well, this is like unprecedented, I believe, for law enforcement to go look at what they've done. But my colleague Liv Caputo wrote, she looked over, there's over 10,000 exchanges between this FSU killer and ChatGPT, actually. And it was really granular, and this is a very troubled individual, and he was asking for all types of basic advice and very specific advice when it comes to planning this action out. I think it's actually a proactive move that Othmeier has done, James Othmeier, our Attorney General, has done right now, and that others may have to do. And we're seeing, obviously, in this case over here in the Tampa Bay area, USF, he may do that. He's not. I don't think he's said he's looking into that yet in terms of what the AI component is. But it's extremely troubling. We've seen this already happen with suicides, right, with youth, and that has been something that is on everybody's radar. And it can go dark, like so many things in life.